Tottenham Hotspur have an awful lot to do in this summer transfer window, and I'm going to take you through three primary targets that Tottenham should be looking to sign this window under Thomas Frank, giving him his first few players as Tottenham Hotspur manager. And guys, I'm going to break this down into the top three that I think we should potentially sign. And are these realistic signings? I think a lot of them are realistic if Tottenham Hotspur were to stretch out and spend a decent chunk this window. And there is also a few outgoing. So if you guys want me to do another video with the outgoing transfers this summer at Tottenham Hotspur, smash a thumbs up on the video if you do like this video and subscribe if you're new. But let's get straight to the chase, guys. I am going to be looking at, first of all, primary target number one, and that is Eberechi Eze. And guys, we have been linked with this guy for many, many seasons, probably 2 or 3 seasons, in fact, and he would be an absolute marquee signing. Is it possible? I'm going to come into that in just a minute, but in terms of his transfer value, we're looking at between 60 to 70 million pounds. I believe his release clause is around 65 million pounds from Crystal Palace. And of course, they've just come off the back of winning the FA Cup. They have a very good feel factor in their dressing room at the moment, you know, with some fantastic players that many are sought after. And I think it's important to get into sort of the facts of Eze. You know, everyone knows how good he is. Everyone knows that he's linked with top clubs, including Manchester City as well. And if you look at his stats, he's got 92%, top 92 percentile for shots in the world for attackers and wingers. You know, averaging at around 3.48 per game. He's also in the top 80 percentile for assists per 90, as well as shot creating actions in the top 82. And for me, this is the important one. Top 86 percentile for successful take-ons, 2.33 per 90. And for me, guys, that is exactly what Thomas Frank needs. Wingers, they're explosive, aggressive, and will get into positions to put in a good delivery or put in a good cross. You know, we don't have that, in my opinion, at Tottenham Hotspur. We have Brennan Johnson. Is he a one-on-one winger? I don't think so. We have Matthias Tell, who we've just signed on a permanent. Is he a one-on-one winger? I think more so. I think he can beat his man and put in a delivery. But it's about getting him in the right positions. But with Eberechi Eze, he could take on his man and beat them in the wing. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You're already probably typing out in the comments. Eberechi Eze is more of a number 10. He can play left wing. He can play in the 10. And actually, if you think about it, Thomas Frank actually likes players that can play across those front 3 or 4 positions. And so, in my opinion, Eze fits as a primary number 10, as our sole number 10. Where does Maddison and where does Kulusevski come in? I'll let you guys be the judge of that. But I think Eberechi Eze would be a statement signing. And I think it's one that Tottenham could do with versatility, can play off the left and has played on the right at the times as well. He would be fantastic. And just getting back into things as well, I would like to just mention his goals and assists. 8 goals, 8 assists last season in the Premier League for Palace in 34 matches. The previous season, 11 goals and 4 assists. And the one before that, 10 goals and 4 assists. Even at his time in the Championship 4 or 5 years ago, he was getting 14 goals and 8 assists. This guy is pretty consistent. You know, even in the FA Cup last season, 4 goals and an assist, including scoring the winner in the FA Cup final against Manchester City just last month. And I mean, it was such a well taken goal then as well. So literally a goal contribution a game in the FA Cup as well. You know, and we're gonna need squad depth. We're gonna need 2 or 3 number 10s in the Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup, and League Cup. For me, Eberechi Eze, if he's available, should be the main target. Now, some of you are probably sitting there thinking that's actually really unrealistic, James. Well, actually, as per Paul O'Keefe yesterday, he's led to believe that actually Crystal Palace would be prepared to take 3 £20 million instalments for Eberechi Eze. And I think actually 3 £20 million instalments is very, very doable. Now, I know Daniel Levy likes a deal where he actually pays in installments or potentially a loan-to-buy deal, which is very popular in the last few years. But I think if we think about it, 20 million in 3 installments, whether that's in yearly installments or even per 6 months, that is very, very doable for a player that would arguably be a marquee signing and a signing that we would utilize for many, many seasons to come. For me, if it was me in charge, I would get Eberechi Eze in a heartbeat. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think it's achievable? And do you think Spurs will be able to pull this off? Now, I want to go into signing number 2 now. And for me, this is one where we've actually talked about this one on the channel before 2 years ago. And this was before his move to Bayern Munich. It is a number 6. Thomas Frank requires in his formation of a 4-2-3-1 a number 6 that is able to pivot essentially and bring the ball out, out of defense and crunch in tackles and just play a really, really solid role. And we don't have that, in my opinion, at Tottenham Hotspur. The nearest number 6 we have is a Bentancur. And I don't think Bentancur is a natural number 6, to be honest with you. And I think we need to go out there and spend big, but not as big as Eze. And that is in the form of a João Paulinha. Now, of course, he is now at Bayern Munich, but he was very much a key figurehead at Fulham just 2 or 3 seasons ago. And I think that we could get a Paulinha for around 30 to 40 million pounds. And the reason why is because actually his market value has dipped slightly since being at Bayern Munich. He hasn't hit the ground running there. And I think there's a prime opportunity to purchase him off Bayern Munich when actually it doesn't seem like he's in the run-in for their starting 11. Now, if you look at his stats, courtesy of FP Ref again, he is in the top 96 percentile for aerials won. He's a big, dominant player, 6'3". He's in the top 93 percentile for tackles. He's a very, very aggressive player. And actually, his pass accuracy is spot on as well. He's in the top 97 percentile. There's not many players in Europe that have a 92.4% pass completion rate. And for me, it's a no-brainer. I think if he's out of favour at Bayern Munich, he doesn't maybe quite suit the style in the Bundesliga, I would go after him. 30 to 40 million pounds for a player that was so highly regarded at Fulham and arguably was around 60 to 70 million in value. I think we should go out there and get him. And the reason why I think it's a no-brainer is because if you look at his market value, as I said, when he was at Fulham in 2023, he was at a 60 million pounds market value. Some may even hold him even higher. And now he's dropped to a 30 million pound transfer market value as per transfermarket.com. And for me, even if we bought this player and it didn't work out in the first year under Thomas Frank, you could probably even sell him again for 30 million pounds, minimum 25, I reckon. And so I think it's a low risk and big reward sort of move. But guys, let me know what you think in the comments below on João Paulinha. Do you agree with me? Or do you think maybe there's another number 6? I've seen a lot of talk about Sander Berg, who may also be a great fit for Tottenham, also at Fulham. Now, let's get on to the third signing. And this is a player that had a fantastic season for Bournemouth last year. And actually, there was a few players that had a fantastic season for Bournemouth last season. But it is Semenyo, the right winger himself, valued at around 60 to 70 million pounds. We would have to stretch the bank for this one. But why do I think Semenyo is such a top player? Well, 11 goals and 5 assists in 37 matches last season. 9 yellow cards as well, proving that he's a very aggressive player and very explosive in the final third. And it's exactly what Thomas Frank looks for in a winger. You know, you think about Sade last season and Visser and Mbeumo and that front line that kind of works so well together. Semenyo can actually cover so many different positions in that forward line. He can come onto the left. He is naturally more of a right winger, but I just genuinely think that his output is sensational. In the last 5 seasons, you know, you've got 20 goal contributions there in the Championship in 31 matches. And in the last 2 seasons, decent figures. Now, in terms of his FB ref record, top 93 percentile for shots and top 98 for blocks and top 95 for aerial duels won. And Thomas Frank's used to having a front 4 that gets into key positions, into the box, beats a man one-on-one and delivers goals and assists. And he's got the best out of a lot of his players that are a similar type of player than Semenyo. So, guys, that is my roundup for the top 3 players that I think Tottenham should go for. Eberechi Eze, Paulinha, and Antoine Semenyo. Guys, let me know if you agree with it. As I said, smash a like on this video if you did enjoy. If you want more transfer videos, if you want more rumours, if you want more videos analysing tactics, let me know in the comments below. Please, please, please subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you very, very soon for another video on Spurs Related. As always, remember, come on you Spurs!